Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about aggression, particularly in bipolar disorder and my experiences with it and how I dealt with it. It actually didn't come to my attention until recently that I had aggressive tendencies. It was actually brought up to me by my boyfriend, and he was saying, like, you tend to get aggressive when you do this or this or this. And I was like, dang, like I never would have considered myself to have an aggressive personality. And um I think in the past I would have considered it, like argumentative or emotional or whatever, and attributed it to that rather than to aggression. And in general, I feel like people don't consider me to be an aggressive person, but if I am like provoked, or if I disagree with someone to a insane degree or whatever, I will, like, share my opinions, and not in any kind way, sort of thing. I don't really know how to define aggression on my own terms that way. Like when I think about it and I think about like how people say, "Oh, you're aggressive," sort of thing. You have an idea of what it is, but when someone calls you aggressive and it doesn't align with the way you've defined it in the past, it kind of, shakes your world a little bit. So the dictionary definition is hostile or violent behavior or attitudes towards another, or readiness to attack or confront. So when you define aggression as that, and when I think about myself, it makes me think of, when I'm manic. Sometimes when I'm manic, I am more readily confrontational or ready to fight about something if I disagree. While if I was, more stable or depressed, I'd be like, oh, this isn't worth it. That's their opinion, whatever. Um, when I'm manic, usually I notice myself kind of thinking of the ideal, even in the sense of, the world is flawed and it should be this way, it shouldn't be like this. So when anybody ever brings up any kind of like idea that contradicts like my ideal view of the world, I go out and I kind of attack them for it. And I mean, it's not a good thing when you're doing that all the time. It was especially noticeable during the Black Lives Matter protest stuff in 2020, because I was online all the time. I was reading these things, I was commenting, I was trying to, fight people through the internet, and it's not really effective that way ever, because people are doing the same thing, trying to argue back with you, and it's all behind a screen. Nothing's really going to change. So there was that. That's part of my whole aggressive personality thing when I'm manic, but that is not even the extent to which aggression can occur. I'm gonna start back when I was younger. Honestly, with physical aggression, I would like kick walls, or actually I would make holes in walls by kicking them, and my parents had to like fix the walls and stuff. They'd be like, "Why are you kicking the walls?" But there'd be that, and that kind of passed. It was like more in middle school. But last year, actually, I had gotten really mad at something that my dad said, and I just kicked a hole in the wall, and I kept kicking the wall, and I actually hurt my foot really bad because I ended up kicking a support beam in the wall. So I just, hurt my foot, another hole in the wall. I learned to fix the wall actually, so that's a good thing, I guess, if I, have a tendency to make holes in the wall. I haven't really, that was like the first time in a while, meaning like 8 years, that I had done something like that. And just that, and then the fact that when I was talking with my boyfriend Nick about certain things, he noticed that I tend to be like pushing my opinions and stuff on him aggressively, or more aggressively than he would have liked. Um, I do have aggressive tendencies when I am manic because I'm very reactive and emotional and try to put my opinions on other people when I probably shouldn't. Um, so that's honestly my whole stories with aggression. And I feel like with bipolar in general, mania tends to bring out like aggression in people, even if they're not normally aggressive people. Just there's something about it that makes them more like active and erratic. There's just that whole other side of someone that comes out during mania. To really think about how to get through that, to not allow the aggressive side of you out, I think that's something that comes with a lot of practice and honestly self discovery, knowing what your triggers are, what makes you become emotional and want to, let out these aggressive opinions or behaviors or whatever, knowing when it is and kind of before it even happening, being like, oh, this might trigger me. I'm going to be aware of that and either walk away from it or go into the situation knowing that and trying to calm yourself down before anything gets out of hand. I have a lot to work on when it comes to this. After Nick brought that up, in everything that I did and everything in my family, I noticed the smallest things. And in general, I feel like the way my family communicates with each other is like it sounds more aggressive than it should. Us even having a normal, passionate conversation can sound like we're just having an argument. I never really noticed it like that, but after Nick said that to me, I started noticing more about the ways that I speak to other people, the way that my family speaks to each other, and the way that, things change when we speak to people outside our family. And it's weird in a way because I think that when I become comfortable with someone, I kind of treat them like I would treat someone in my family. So that is like naturally just more, I guess, aggressively, if you want to call it that, or just, not holding back. It could be that my family is generally more aggressive than others. If we're having a discussion about something that really matters, it is very, very likely that there will be raised voices, and the tone in which we speak is not kind because we're like passionately speaking. It also doesn't help that my dad has a little bit of a hearing problem, so we generally speak louder than normal. And honestly, just in societal terms, louder speaking kind of comes off as more aggressive. Generally speaking, I think that coping with aggressive tendencies, especially during mania, has to do with a lot with like reflection when you are not manic. Like I said, knowing when you tend to get upset and emotional and aggressive, and knowing how to kind of calm down from that and just being more aware, I think would help you become less aggressive in certain situations. I guess that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.